Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. What's going on in the Black Sea? Let's see how many ships on standby the Russians have by Sevastopol, how many submarines, and if they found that little drone that sank. Well, I can give you this. The Russians are trying to recuperate whatever is left out of that drone, that great maneuver made by that pilot, which I was impressed, I gotta tell you. I have another former F-16 pilot or something, a senator right now, I think, said, well, that was clumsy and so on. Well, I didn't hear him saying what would have worked. Maybe a missile straight, or first time lose, miss, and then hit, like they did here in over the Huron Lake. Against that floating balloon or whatever it was. He didn't give the explanation why that was clumsy. The problem is his mission was get it down without using weapons. He did. Bravo. So and the politician is not a pilot anymore for me. He's just a politician. Out. So a weasel. That's translation for a politician. A weasel. So the drone, I don't know if whatever they will recuperate out of it, but because there's some stormy, not stormy Daniels, but stormy waters over there. And let's see what the submarines and those Kalibr cruise missiles are doing over there, ready to pay a visit to the Ukrainians, unfortunately. So this article comes from Ukrinform from the 19th of March. What the hell is going on here? So, 9 enemy warships are currently in combat readiness in the Black Sea off the coast of occupied Crimea, including 2 missile carriers. That's according to Natalia Humenyuk, the spokeswoman, spokesperson, for Operational Command South, who spoke at the National Telethon. An Ukrinform correspondent reports. Currently, 9 warships of the entire naval grouping are spotted in the Black Sea, including 2 missile carriers. These are surface missile carriers that could be armed with 16 Kalibr missiles, she added. Oh, now she's a she, but here she was a person. Freaking weasels. The rest of the missile carriers were brought to their bases, including submarines, the spokesperson again. Said these guys are just weasels. This may indicate that the likelihood of pinpoint missile strikes remains in place. And I'm quoting Ms. Hemenyuk. They continue their search for tactics that would prove effective because massive missile strikes have not been a successful practice, tactic, or something that would even inspire those units that see no success on the battlefield. Well, every time they do this, it's like half of Ukraine has no electricity and power. So I guess, and someone is paying for that, and I just look in the mirror for that to find who is. According to Humenyuk, the Russians keep their naval vessels in a safe zone more than 100 nautical miles from the closest Ukrainian position, in order not to be hit. Yeah. And I'm quoting, they are also curtailing their search operation in the area where the air incident took place involving the Reaper drone and Sukhoi 27 fighter jets. No, not the incident. They downed it, just went over and blew it down. They burned their propeller with their afterburn of their engines and boom, like a fly. They have been searching for something there. But the weather and depth in the area do not contribute to continuing the effort. The weather, the depth is not an issue, I guarantee you that. But anyway, that's a sea over there, not a lake. So, currents, I don't know what they do. Answering a question about whether the Ukrainian military sees any changes in the security situation in connection with Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to Crimea, she said, there was no critical change in this regard. We were just told to stay put because otherwise he's gonna nuke us. That, I think, it was the order. Coming from Zimbabwe across the Atlantic, from Harare. And I'm quoting, Everything's within their military doctrine, that is, placing their ship group in appropriate positions as cover from the sea, as well as setting up a network of trenches which they claim are enough to ensure security. So from the sea, security. Humenyuk said. As reported on Sunday, Ukraine Navy spotted 14 enemy warships off the coast of Crimea, including 4 missile carriers. Well, we already know what the Russians are doing. The problem is when you know what they're going to do and you can't prevent it, that's a sitting duck kind of thing. The Russians are going back to the bases, party, for about 3 weeks, 3 weeks and a half, maybe 4, sometimes earlier. After that, they put their hats on, or bonnets, and move to their submarines and warships. They load whatever is needed to be loaded, if you know what I mean. They go out, they look, pinpoint, get the order, coordinates, boop, zoop, clop, boom. And then they go back and repeat. That's what's going on over there. And the Ukrainians, which were able before to, you remember they hit the Moskva and some other little ones. Right now, it seems like the Russians stay far enough so they cannot be hit, which I think it's a weasel move from the helpers, you know what I mean, the guys who help Ukraine, that they did not provide the Ukrainians with necessary tools to defend themselves. But there could be some orders as well over there, do not do it again, because if you do it again, we're going to go total Krieg on you, which is total war. And they say it is total war right now, but I don't think it's total war. When you tell the guys, I'm going to give you the weapon, but you don't hit inside Russia, what do you mean? They're hitting inside of my country. I'm not defending them, but if you are about to be just, I mean, you hit my towns, you are on my territory, and I'm not supposed to hit your territory. Why don't you give me that? That means the guys over there in Moscow and the guys in Washington, D.C., hey, what's up? What are you wearing? Oh, those tongues. I think that's how they communicate, Shoigu with Millie. Millie being the one with the tongues on. So, the situation is right now calm because the Russians are not ready to bombard anybody, and we'll see this in about maybe 3 weeks. Things will change and an attack will occur, unfortunately, if the war is still to be going on by then. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.